we get to our main event.
Mm.
It's the number one contenders match. Darby Allin's AEW World Title shot is on the line. Darby Allin, Jon Moxley with Marina Shafir. We all know Jon Moxley wins this match. Here is your mission critical fuckery that I think we have in AEW. So if Jon Moxley beats Bryan Danielson and ends the career of Bryan Danielson, last night Jon Moxley beat Darby Allin, right? So who is going to out-violent Bryan fucking Danielson to beat Jon Moxley? You get what I'm saying? Like, Jon Moxley's already the skewers in the head and everything else. The only person that can match that violence is Darby Allin. And so if Jon Moxley beats Bryan Danielson, he's the king of violence. Now, in a perfect world, wouldn't it fucking be cool if Nick Gage came out? But I digress. That won't happen. But you get what I'm saying? So who will it be? Because Bryan Danielson is kick your fucking head in and all of that shit. Who would be more violent than?
It's your best friend.
Well, he's not that, though. No. He's beat Jon Moxley, but he beat Jon Moxley in a Continental Classic match. And to clarify for anyone who's not catching on, we're talking about Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston beat Jon Moxley in a Continental Classic match, which is the, hey, let's just figure out who we are, right? If you remember, Jon Moxley already made Eddie Kingston say, I quit. Already happened, 2020.
But your answer's in the chat. Your answer's in the chat from the Wrestling with Neurodivergence pod. It's Hangman.
I mean, but then how long is the reign of
I told you
Jon
this earlier.
Moxley?
It's returning to face status MJF, who bloodies himself for the AEW, who he has tatted on his calf because that's important.
Okay, so obviously we'll do
I tatted
our
it on my
picks.
body, but I mean I gotta hide it with a tube sock.
Yeah. So we'll say this. We're going to do our picks in next week or whenever that is for Wrestle Dream. But let's go with this fun scenario because that was our episode. Again, the match was incredible. Jon Moxley fucking threw Darby Allin around like a old sock, and Darby Allin does that every single match. How does he survive? We never know. Rinse, repeat, but it's always awesome.
Probably.
I mean, cool. I would.
Yeah.
Drugs are awesome. I don't know. I'm just going to say drugs are awesome. It's the abuse of them. If you fucking just don't abuse things.
Everything in moderation. Yeah.
Everything in moderation. Yeah.
Except this show. Abuse this show.
Abuse the shit out of this show. Just keep interacting. Even if you want to tell us abusive comments, just keep interacting. That's what we don't care. Just keep coming. Yeah. I got thick skin.
Keep it coming.
Yeah. All right. So let's go with this theory. Let's say in this world that I'm about to create, Jon Moxley does end the career of Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream. Who do you think it is that ends Jon Moxley's title reign?
Like Reign of Terror?
Yeah, like the next champion.
I get the feeling, because the way they're leaning, that this is something about AEW and needing to control it and blah, blah, blah. So I feel like you've got to get one of those AEW originals. Ooh, it's the scapegoat. It's Jack Perry. It's the scapegoat, Jack Perry. He keeps descending into more madness. Okay. And he keeps getting crazier and crazier. And he's just the right kind of crazy to take out the evil, maniacal craziness that is Jon Moxley. And we've seen him take the punishment.
Yeah,
right?
We have. I do like that idea.
And he's talking in tongues now, and he's
all the stuff.
It's Jack Perry.
I wouldn't hate that.
Book it.
I wouldn't hate that.
He's the scapegoat.
Yes. I think it does have to be an AEW original if that did happen, where Moxley wins and he does this. Mm-hmm. This isn't your company anymore. If you want to go long term and you throw up other day one guys that fall at the feet of Jon Moxley, while in the background Hangman does the, hey, I'm fucking wild, but what am I doing? And then I'm doing this all for you, AEW. And then he's the one that takes up the banner of AEW, and then he beats Jon Moxley. Awesome. That's for a longer title reign. I would go with that if we're saying 6 months or whatever for Jon Moxley's title reign, right? I'll just give away my pick. I don't think it's Jon Moxley that wins at Wrestle Dream. I think it is Bryan Danielson that wins at Wrestle Dream. And I think the person that beats Bryan Danielson is Darby Allin. And then you have a vulnerable champion and Jon Moxley saying, remember what I did at Grand Slam? And you think you're going to be the one that fends us off? And then you've got this dynamic of, can the champ even beat the challenger?
So Danielson fights him off. Maybe Darby even helps to keep the whatever we're calling Blackpool Combat Club away. And then Danielson the next night's like, hey, great job. Now you get your shot, right? Like, now you get your shot. Like, you got now let's do it at the next event. And that's where Darby beats him. Yeah.
Right. And again, I would think it'd be more fun if Christian is like, I'm the fucking champion. You guys fight amongst each other. I don't give a fuck about any of this. I do think that would be the best fun thing out of it. But I think, because here's the thing that I think of all of this Grand Slam lead up and now fallout. The biggest chump is Darby Allin. You basically got called out by Jon Moxley, baited into giving up your title shot, lost your title shot, and then what? You're supposed to then go up against Okada? Like, you look like a fucking...
Like nothing happened. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to get something. And I think...
a random match to
exactly,
cash down Darby.
Right. So I think Darby has to get this back somehow. And so I think the revenge of Darby beating Moxley for something that now means something to Moxley is the payoff. Look at that.
So many ways, man. I love what we've got going. We don't know what's happening with Mox in a good way, right? We don't know what's going on here, right? We don't know what the purpose is. We don't know what's driving this. I hope they're trolling everybody by finding every chance they can to put a picture of Shane McMahon with one of these people, and I hope we never see that guy.
No. I
just hope all of that's just a troll job.
I think the Shane McMahon thing, honestly, this is my.
I think they're like, hey, play nice when we do a few pictures, and you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well,
make a fun tweet or something, and we'll
I think the real payoff to this is going to be next year's All In, the Wembley show in Texas, right? You go, look at this. We sold 70,000 tickets and look at all the people that's at this show. And you show Dak Prescott. I'm just making up people here, right? You show Dak Prescott and CJ Stroud and Luka Doncic, and then you just show Shane McMahon, and then you just go, and Shane McMahon, and then what the fuck was that? And you just keep it moving. That would be the thing that would be like, what the fuck? Yeah.
What the fuck? So here's a thing, because I was saying, in addition to that storyline, you've got the Christian Cage thing. So what if Darby turns and says, no, I need that title shot now. Like, no, you've got it. And maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe Kip Sabian's working with him, right? Maybe they're trying to get that title shot.
Yeah.
Of course, it'd be weird that you started ahead of time thinking maybe you wouldn't win, but like maybe he's not involved, right? Maybe he's not. But again, what does Christian Cage do here? We've got a heel guy with a guaranteed title shot ready to go who is an opportunist, right? Some would say he's even friends with the ultimate opportunist.
This guy right here.
No, not that one. This one. The wrong thing. Yeah. What? Yeah, and then he shows up. That would be great. Now that is the guy that could end Mox's.
And his name is John Cena.
I might have to turn off the TV, though. I might have. I don't know.
I think so. Here's one thing that has been vague, and I think it's vague on purpose, because as much as the first 3 years of AEW, in my opinion, was mapped out to a T, except for given an injury, right? Everything was right there. I think that now everything is kind of, well, okay, let's do this for a big, big bump in ticket sales. It's Jon Moxley now for Darby Allin, right? So with that being said, I think still in my dumb brain, I think Christian is the next chapter in whatever the end of Moxley's story is. I'm not saying that like Moxley loses it to Christian, but once we do Team AEW versus Team Moxley and they both fall to the ground, it's Christian that comes out of it.
I would, what you said, Moxley loses because Darby helps. Danielson's like, yay, he gives Darby the thing, right? Darby beats Mox. The whole time Mox is like, I got to get another fucking title shot. I got to get another fucking title shot. Christian, right? Christian got the fucking title shot. And now Christian and this group, they got to battle it out, and Mox fucking murders him to steal that fucking title shot. And now he's after Darby because fucking Darby has it.
Well, I don't think you should do that for the first one because then who would want it next, right? Well, fuck, I don't want that title shot because that means Moxley might come after me. Then fuck this, right? Like, I'm not in that match.
Well, I mean, hey, until Moxley gets his title. Like,
right, but you know what I'm saying? So I think Christian has to cash in or be epically massive failure.
Fail it.
Right? Yeah.
I think he's going to fail it. I think he's going to fail, or Luchasaurus is going to fuck it up, or is, and then be like,
Yeah, that could be right. If he loses, I'm a dinosaur. Motherfucker. God damn it. I will fucking.
I'm a dinosaur.
I will cut the hair of Trevor Lawrence if those motherfuckers do I'm a dinosaur. I will be so fucking pissed. Oh my God, that would be so
aggravating. It's our storyline. And it's money. And I want them to do it, but I also want them to pay us when they do it.
Yes. I just give me front row tickets for a year and I'm good. You know what I mean? Like
let me be big green shirt guy and I'll just
airfare, tickets, hotel. I'll be okay.
I can hang out at catering. I'll be all right.
Yeah. Just let me hang out. Right. Or just hire me for this producer job. I digress. But I think what you should do is have him. Yeah. So it's either I'm a dinosaur or, and I know it's very WWE lore, but to give it credibility, have him become the champ. And that's where, like you said, he doesn't really fit in the Jon Moxley, the Danielson, the Darby, the fight for control, the EVPs, which, side note, as we kind of recap the end of this Grand Slam episode, there's a few different times that Excalibur mentioned Jon Moxley and the EVPs even mentioned. A lot of people are talking about taking over this company.
I slightly disagree with you now, where you said, well, now it just feels like, they're like, oh, let's do this match and then next month we'll do this match. I think they have gotten back to, they're planning some of these things out. There's a definitive purpose that they're going to slowly tell us over with this Moxley group, and it's intertwining with things like you're saying, right? So yes, how did the EVPs play into this? Are they involved already? Are they, you know what I mean? Like it's very interesting because they are, I mean, they mentioned it. They're the damn show, right? Like they said it, I think on this episode, they bragged on themselves, right? Where they were like, it's us. Like the show is us. Like we are like,
And here's where, again, it gets fun to talk about wrestling because details could matter where you never would have thought, or you could find something and it's completely wrong. But the detail that I keep going back to, after Jon Moxley says to Tony Schiavone, this is no longer your company, he walks right by the EVPs, even says that Jack Perry's a cute kid or whatever he said there, a good guy.
They never asked the question. They never been like, what'd you mean by that?
Yeah. What the fuck? You think you're taking this company from us? They just were like, hey, they didn't even look upset. But
they should have been like, did you think Tony Schiavone is the Tony that owns the company? Like, they didn't even make a snide joke. They didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Now I'm getting a little too crazy, but follow me here. Could this be phase 2 going back to Jack Perry punching Tony Khan in the gut, right? So they try on their own to take over this fucking company. They lose blood and guts to Swerve Strickland and all them. So they say, you know who we could really get to fucking take over this company for us? Jon Moxley and his guys,
I forgot about the punch in the gut with the microphone. That's one of AEW's best moments.
Yeah.
And then he fell over like he had to take a bad shit. And from now on, every time Tony Khan ever gets hit, it better be that way now. It better be microphone to the stomach.